Welcome to the Team SMI starting lineup, presented by Team SMI. This evening, Matt Skinner and company will give you all you need to know to get you ready for Friday Night Lights. This program is also streaming live on the Craddock Sports Facebook page. The Team SMI starting lineup is presented by Team SMI. Also brought to you by State Farm Agent Amy Brown, Edward Jones of Carrollton, Douglasville, and Villarica, Osier Apparel, Southland Insurance, West Georgia Plumbing, Septic, and HVAC, and West Georgia Technology. Now, let's go live on the air and on the Craddock Sports Facebook page to the Mustard Seed Cafe at City Station with your host, Matt Skinner.
3, 2.
And welcome into the Mustard Seed Cafe at City Station alongside Clay Harden. I'm Matt Skinner, as always, here with you tonight. And another great show lined up for you. We're going to have Coach Darius Smiley from Central High School join us in just a minute. And just because it's Thursday night doesn't mean there's not football going on. We got two of our local schools. I've got Callaway and Temple pulled up, so hopefully the Tigers will give Tank Bigsby and that crowd a good matchup. And, of course, Spencer is playing Heard County. So we'll try to keep you updated as much as we can on those two games.
Back.
So
I don't know who picks these. Billy Lindahl sent me some lines. Who picks these? Where do those come from?
The guy's name is like Lauren Maxwell or something, and it's like a big old computer. It's the guy that does the power rankings,
okay,
and stuff.
Well, I saw. I think Herd's a 3-point underdog.
Yeah, Herd's a 3-point underdog. I think that Temple was a 28-point underdog,
it was a lot.
Or something like that.
And I can see that.
Oh yeah. But
would Tank Bigsby or no Tank Bigsby?
Yeah, absolutely. We're streaming live on the Craddock Sports Facebook page and live here on KISS 102.7. We're going to talk some local scores from last week. Carrollton defeated Rome. Wild ball game there, 24-20. Central with a big win coming off their bye week, 33-14 over Heard County, and they have LaGrange this week. Haralson County, the Road Warriors, man, they just keep going on the road, keep winning. Blocked a field goal and won the ball game 13-12. Cass beat Villarica last week, and I'm going to hold on to that 17-14 because I'm going to give you some stuff on that game. Northwest Whitfield 31-7 over Temple, and Christian Heritage beat Mount Zion 42-0. That Cass game, Cass got up 17-0. So, and from what I was told, Villarica was trying to throw the ball around. They got a guy on their team. I don't know if anybody knows his name. I know him. His name is Philip Zachary. That man's got to get the ball. He got the ball twice in the first half for 4 yards. In the second half, Clay, he had 12 carries for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they came really close. They had a ball, I think, deflected in the end zone on like the last play of the game to lose.
You know, I'm sitting here, and they're coaching for a reason, and I don't question it a lot, but I watch a lot of football, and when we had the Bremen Cedartown game, Cedartown had that what's the kid's
Kobe
name?
Pryor.
Pryor.
The West Virginia commit, I think.
He is an awesome looking athlete, and I thought, you know, if I had this kid, they're gonna have to tackle him 50 times a game because I'm gonna feed him. But they run him a couple times in the first quarter and just kind of gave up on him. He had that 88-yard touchdown run.
I understand not giving them the ball a lot maybe in the first half to build them to the second half, maybe 5-6 carries here and there. But
Philip Zachary's the same way.
Exactly.
If he's on my team, he's going to be tired at the end of the game because I am going to work him to death.
Absolutely. And let's talk real quick. Temple was kind of the same way. You had that game last week. They were, well coached. Coach Ward and them, Coach Singleton, they've got a good squad, but you got kids playing both ways, kids injured. Northwest Whitfield had 11 on offense, 11 on defense. You didn't have to worry about a whole lot of that.
They came out, Temple did, and hit them in the mouth early and controlled the first quarter and really 5 minutes into the second quarter. And then it was almost like the wind just got knocked out of their so they were gassed. They were going both ways, and I do understand that, but once they got gas and, you see kids with hands on their hips and trying real hard to catch their breath, and then Northwest Whitfield just put the hammer down. And they just, Temple never could regain any momentum after dominating the first, 15 minutes of that ball game. They just got demolished.
And what's the best way to reward you? You get to go on a short week and play Callaway. That's how the Temple Tigers were rewarded. Christian Heritage, a really good team. I think they're 5th in the private power rankings. They're top 5, I know for sure, and out of Dalton. They beat Mount Zion 42-0 last week, and it's not going to get any easier this week when they play Darlington. We'll break down that game here in a moment. But Mount Zion, we talked to Coach Gordon on Tuesday night at Coach's Clinic. He started, obviously you have 11 guys on both sides of the ball. He started the season on defense with the 11 guys. He's only got 2 of those starters left from that team.
That's tough.
He's only got, and on offense, they run the wing T. They're down to their 5th running back.
I mean, if anybody can overcome it, it's Brad Gordon.
Yeah.
But
he said he's never in his life seen anything like it.
That's hard for anybody to deal with, right? That many. You can deal with 1 or 2, but that many, it's hard to overcome.
Yeah, and it's at big position. I mean, right tackle, middle linebacker, Garrett, his son, calls the defense. I mean, you're not just losing, a backup corner. You're losing, starters, and that hurts big time. Let's talk Carrollton with a big win over Rome last week. The offense didn't do a whole lot to the last drive when it mattered, but the special teams and defense thought they are what we thought they were. I mean, that defense from Carrollton played really well.
That's one of the best. I listen to a lot of football. I don't get to watch it a lot, but I listen. That was one of the best games I've listened to in a long time. It was like me and Casey didn't leave the press box at Temple. It was over. We sat there listening to his phone, listening to that last 8 or 9 minutes of the
Greg
game.
and Aaron had a great call.
Great call. It was a great game and a big win by Carrollton. Rome's been their Achilles heel the last few years.
Yes, they have. And you could tell Carrollton was getting tired. They were on the field 85 defensive plays.
Well, there was one stat that Greg read that just blew my mind.
They were 4 of 20 on third down, Rome was. I don't know if that was the stat you're looking for.
No, it was the amount of time of possession that Rome had, just a dominant time of possession.
And it was in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. It was even in the second and third quarter, but Rome completely dominated the first quarter time of possession and the fourth quarter time of possession.
Oh, I know what it was. It was they ran 86 plays and only had 200-something yards.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
That was the stat that blew my mind.
That was the crazy part about it. So hats off to Carrollton's defense. Chaz Chambliss had 14 tackles, 3 sacks. I mean, he's a D1 guy, and we saw that might have been, even though he's already got all the recognition, that might have been his coming out party as a junior for him. But another team that was impressive last week and moving forward to the coming week, Central beat Heard County 33-14. Coming off a bye week, had a lot of injuries, man. In that Monday's Mill game, they were dropping like flies, it seemed like. Isaiah Terry didn't play that game. Shane Bruce was off and on. But Central, just like Heard County, struggling with injuries, but Central was able to ride it out and beat Heard County.
Sounds like the bye week came at the right time.
Yes. And Heard County needs a bye week.
Bad.
Yes.
And then they get a short week for a trip down to Columbus for a Thursday night game.
And Russ Masso's down there. He'll keep us posted. We'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. But finally, Haralson County with a huge win over Adairsville last week. They not as vibrant on offense this year. They had Traylon last year and a solid offensive line, but a lot of people are queuing in on that offense. And
now Haralson County used Traylon Shepard like I would use a guy like Traylon Shepard. You run him, you run him 30 or 40 times a game. And you let him know going in, you better eat a good breakfast because we're going to work you to death.
Haralson County has LFO this week. Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe.
They're a 4-point favorite. Haralson County is.
Okay, good. And then they'll finally get to come home and play Coahulla Creek after they've played 4 straight games to start the year.
Yeah, that's
on
a
the road.
rough way to start the season.
So a lot of traveling for Haralson County, and that kind of wraps up last week's games. Just a quick look at this week's games. We'll break these games down here a little bit later on. Central plays LaGrange. Villa Rica is at Paulding County. That's a must-win game for Villa Rica. They got to win out pretty much. Heard at Spencer going on right now, as well as Temple and Callaway. Carrollton at East Paulding. Bowden North Cobb Christian on Great Classics 98.9. You and Casey will have the call on that. That's going to be fun, sitting in the bleachers with 800 straight.
Well, I hope we get in the right section of bleachers.
Yes, he said that as long as we have the power cords, I mean, we can put you on the Bowden section.
Well, I didn't thought about how I'm going to do this till I'm going to run them up under through the bleachers and set me a table up.
Oh, it'd be nice. Darlington and Mount Zion. I'm excited to see Tate Ratledge tomorrow. The 4-star Georgia offensive lineman who is nasty. But they also got another guy on their team that's really good.
Oh, they got a lot of guys on their team.
They got a running back going to Mississippi State. They got a linebacker going to Georgia Tech. And poor Mount Zion is coming at the worst time for them. Haralson County at LFO. And if you want to go to a homecoming game and be home before 9 o'clock, go to the Bremen Cross Keys game.
Basically an off week.
Yes, before Bremen plays a big ball game next week against Callaway. So that's kind of the look to next week. We'll talk about those games a little more in depth. We're going to get Coach Darius Smiley from Central High School to join us here right when we come back here on the Team SMI starting lineup, live at the Mustard Seed Cafe.
City Station, a multi-purpose community center behind CVS on Maple Street in Carrollton, was conceived by Southern Hills Christian Church with a goal of serving Carroll County. City Station offers preschool services, college student housing, the Mustard Seed Cafe, an indoor playground, fitness center, and basketball court, as well as state-of-the-art conference rooms available for your next event. You matter, and City Station exists to serve you. Come check out City Station in person or find us online at citystation.org and Facebook.
Join the 7 million investors who know the difference. For a proactive approach to your individual financial needs, contact an Edward Jones financial advisor near you. Call 1-800-ED-JONES, visit edwardjones.com, or stop by any Edward Jones office in Carrollton, Villa Rica, or Douglasville. Regardless of what the market is doing, we stay in touch. Even when the market's down, we'll call you up. Proactive, not reactive. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Edward Jones in Carrollton, Villa Rica, and Douglasville. Member SIPC.
It's not just your car. It's the car you worked overtime so your team could drive himself to football practice. This is State Farm agent Amy Brown. My team and I understand that your car and home are things you worked really hard for, and we're here to give them the protection they deserve. Call me, State Farm agent Amy Brown, at 678-840-5000. Stop by our office on South Candler Street in Villa Rica, or visit online at amybrown.biz. We're here to help life go right.
In America, someone's cell phone screen cracks every second.
I'd hate to be that guy.
Face it, someday you'll be that guy. When that day comes, don't send your phone off to be repaired. It takes weeks and costs a fortune. From busted screens to battery replacement, West Georgia Technology repairs phones and computers fast for a price that will make you smile.
Ah, shoot. So who do I call again?
West Georgia Technology, 678-664-0486, 928 South Park Street in Carrollton.
Osier Apparel makes it easy for you to outfit your employees in company attire. The Osier staff will work with you to set up a company store online with your logos, approved garment brands, colors, and styles. Once the store is up and running, employees visit the store and order direct within your allotted budget, or can order additional garments on their own within your preset acceptable parameters. You've got enough to do. Alleviate the hassle of outfitting your employees. To find out more or to set up your company store, visit osierapparel.com or stop by their office on Avenue C in Carrollton.
At West Georgia Plumbing, Septic, and HVAC, a family-owned and operated company, we understand the importance of keeping your family comfortable and home functioning properly.
We are available 24/6 for any and all repairs and installations. We honor all military, first responders, teachers, and senior citizens with a 10% discount.
Give us a call at 678-708-8883.
And check us out online at westgeorgiahvac.com and westgeorgiaplumbingandseptic.com.
To God be the glory.
Whether it's a car
30
accident,
seconds.
road damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Susan, Gary, and the rest of the crew at Southland Insurance on Corporate Drive in Carrollton or online at southlandinsagency.com.
3, 2.
And welcome back into the Team SMI starting lineup, presented by SMI, live here at the Mustard Seed Cafe. Our great sponsors are Amy Brown State Farm, Edward Jones of Carrollton, Douglasville, and Villa Rica, Osier Apparel, Southland Insurance, West Georgia Plumbing and Septic, and, of course, West Georgia Technology Repair. We're now joined with the head coach of the Central Lions, Coach Darius Smiley. How's it going tonight, Coach?
Going pretty good. How about yourself?
We're doing really well. It's good to be here and good to have you here with us.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate all you guys do for West Georgia football, and just glad to have an opportunity to be here.
Region play is here. Non-region play is over. It's serious time, and let's talk about the health of your football team. I got to go to the Monday's Mill game and see that, and I know that Ethan Lee wasn't dressed, or Shane Bruce didn't play a lot, Isaiah Terry didn't play, so a lot of your main guys were out in that ball game, and they picked it up this past week against Heard County. How are we looking going forward to tomorrow's ball game to LaGrange?
We're going to be at full strength. Got all three of those guys back last week against Heard County. Played Shane and Isaiah sparingly, just to make sure that we can get the region play. And Ethan obviously went the whole game up front. Ethan had a concussion that we found out about late. Had a headache following the Rockmart game Tuesday after the Rockmart game, so they put him through concussion protocol, and Shane and Isaiah were nursing ankle injury, so got those three back for Heard, and I feel like we're at full strength going into this game tomorrow night.
Nick Martin and Cameron Edge both had huge games for you last week. Talk about Cam, a freshman, and had a huge kickoff return, and it seems like Kashif's favorite receiver is Nick Martin. Is kind of pitch and catch with those two guys.
Right. Cam, he made a play.
He's special.
He's special. He's got a lot of football ahead of him, and I'm really excited about him and what he can do and what he can bring to our program. He found a seam and outran everybody, and that's we put him in right before our kickoff return team went out. And, it was kind of a decision me and Coach Harvey, our special teams coach, made right there before they kicked off, and
that was a good move.
It paid off for us. So glad to see him have some success. His first carry, so to say, for a freshman. So excited about him. And then Nick's just done it all, on both sides of the ball. He's got a few picks on defense, and he's done a good job running good routes and catching the football on offense. So excited about him and what he brings to our football team. So
I noticed back during the spring, in the spring game, Shane Bruce played the first half both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. He ran him a lot.
Right.
When his ankle's back to 100%, is that your plan to have him back in the offensive backfield a little more?
Yeah, I joked with him this week in practice because he's primarily a defensive guy, and he brings an explosiveness to our offense, and I want to make sure he's at 100% before we put him in the threshold, so to say, offensively. So as soon as he gets back to where I feel like he can cut and do things full speed, we'll definitely get him back involved on offense. But I joked with him the other day. I said, you committed to Coastal as an outside linebacker, and now you think you're just a defensive priority type guy. So, and he kind of laughed it off. But he's the type of kid that he's going to do whatever we ask him to do and give us everything that we got. So
it's I've always said you got to be wired a little different to play linebackers. You got to be wired different to play defense, but especially to play linebacker.
Yeah,
he seems like he's wired. A little different.
Shane's he's one of those kids. Our whole football team, if he's got an attitude, our kids kind of stay away from him. But he's a good kid, 4.2 GPA, 25 on the ACT, great student in the classroom, no issues, just a good kid. And we got a lot of good kids on our football team, proud to be the coach there.
How is bringing Kashif Taylor in this year, how's that changed the dynamics? Because you got a lot of the same players back from last year on the offensive side, but what has he brought that you didn't have maybe last year?
I think, first of all, just the proven leadership and being a proven winner. He was 13-2 as a starter at Carrollton, and just, having that confidence at the quarterback position was big for us to be able to get him. And he's allowed us to open up our playbook. I kid with our offensive coaches that, we've kind of turned into a spread team, so to say, with some of the things that we do. But Kashif allows us to do that. He's able to throw the ball. He can make the quick game throws, and he can throw it deep. And, we can also, use him in our run game also. So we're definitely happy to have him, and he's done a great job. He played with our guys, in middle school, and I could tell when he came over in the spring that, they gelled immediately. There was like he never left from that standpoint. And I think that was good because he didn't have to try to win over the locker room, so to say. So, but he's done a great job commanding our offense, and, I'm excited to see what he does in region play.
Let's talk about the bye week a little bit. Big win against Heard County last week, but what did you guys work on in that bye week? Obviously, getting healthy was the number one priority for you guys, but I feel like bye weeks for coaches, they absolutely love. You get to do a little, maybe some ones-on-ones and kind of really test and see, get your kids back on the right track.
It's kind of cliche. A lot of coaches say it. Well, we worked on us.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest thing for us was try to get healthy. We got 2 bye weeks, and the first bye week, you want to try to amp it up a little bit and try to get after each other, but we weren't able to do that because we were so injured. So we just kind of made sure we worked on some things and put a few wrinkles in for Hurd and just tried to get better throughout the off week. And kids had a great week of practice. We didn't go too long. We wanted to try to keep them fresh. And last week we had a great week of practice. So far this week we've had a great week, and I'm really excited about tomorrow and being able to travel down to LaGrange and try to go down there and pick up a win.
Speaking of LaGrange, y'all are much improved over last year, but so are they. I've seen them play a couple times this year. Is there any one particular thing they do that has kept you up at night this week?
Nah, I got 2 kids at home, so once I put them to bed, I'm right behind them. But they are a much improved team. They're 2-1 right now. They beat Hampton and they beat Hurd. I feel like in the Hurd game, Hurd kind of hurt themselves with some turnovers and things like that. But they did what good football teams do. They capitalized off of Hurd's mistakes, and it was the same way in their win against Hampton. Hampton turned the ball over a few times, and they took advantage of it. Their quarterback's mobile kid. He moves around well, and he can throw it too. And then, offensively, they run the outside zone scheme, and they're going to try to get the ball on the perimeter a good bit. And we got to do a good job of plugging gaps and making sure we come show up in the alley and fill the alleys on defense. And then offensively, they're big up front. They got 2 or 3 defensive linemen that play with high motor, so we're going to have to make sure we get those guys blocked. In the secondary, they got some good-looking kids, so they're a much improved football team from last year, and Coach Gibbs has done a good job so far this year.
The one thing I was going to point out is what's the most striking thing about them to me was how big they were on the line of scrimmage on both sides. They're huge up front.
Yeah, they are. Their 3 technique, number 52, I think he's like 6'3", 260. And I think we're big up front on our offensive line, but we're going to have some movement, from that standpoint. And I feel confident in our kids. Our O-line played well this past week, so I feel like they're up for the test.
You got one of the toughest regions, probably the toughest in 4A for sure, and you can make an argument. You got currently 3 teams in the top 5. I know Troop lost last week, but they're going to be there. Talk about how tough this schedule is, and what. Obviously, you're taking it one game at a time, but looking ahead, what are some teams that kind of scare you a little bit?
Top to bottom is tough. There's no cupcake, so to say. You got the 3 at the top that are ranked in the top 10 with Sandy Creek, Troop, and Cartersville. Sandy Creek, they have 8 kids, I think, that have D1 offers on defense alone. So they're pretty stout. They're undefeated. Cartersville's, they're pretty good. T. Webb at quarterback, and he's got quite a few athletes. I heard that they're banged up right now, so be interesting to see how
next week at home.
Be interesting to see how they do this week. And you got Troop. Kobe Hudson's a playmaker. Auburn commit, and he's got a running back, Williams kid, that he can hand it to, and he's got quite a few receivers that he can throw it to. Coach Glisson does a good job with those guys down at Troop. Chapel Hill's kind of the dark horse. They're kind of right in the middle there. But
they're much improved over last year, too.
They're much improved. Coach Deshaun does a good job with those guys. He's got quite a few D1 guys. I saw that they had a defensive end that had a verbal commitment to Oregon. They got an offensive tackle who's got a couple Division I offers. So they'll be much improved, and I think they'll be right there in the hunt for a playoff spot. You got us. I think we're much improved. And our kids, our number 1 goal is to make the playoffs this year. And, our senior class has made we've had a lot of firsts. They won their first homecoming game this past week against Hurd. And, the goal that we really set was to make the playoffs. So I'm confident that, if we play like we're capable of playing, we can be in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Hey, I'll tell you something about that region. If Cedartown's coaching staff ever figures out that Kobe Pryor's the best athlete on the field, they'll be dangerous.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys earlier. I don't know I'm like you. If we have that kid, he's gonna tote it 20, 25 times a game.
He's gonna be tired when he gets home. If I'm calling the plays.
Kobe Pryor, a Clemson commit. They lost their quarterback against Rockmore, and I think that kind of hurt them. They had a big win last week against, I think it was Southeast Whitfield, beat them like 57-3 or something like that. So they may be figuring it out right here at the right time. So, and we have them after Cartersville. So I feel like that'll be a good game also.
Awesome. We're sitting down with Coach Darius Smiley of the Central Lions. Before we let you go, I do want to pick your brain about something next year. Now we're getting ready for region alignments and all that coming up. I think it's October the 1st, I think, is when all the stuff comes out.
Yeah,
the first line of stuff.
Right. The schools have the FTE count where
Gotcha.
they have to go through and submit numbers with their kids, and then that goes to GHSA, and then GHSA then in turn will group schools based on the numbers.
It's kind of like golf. They don't know where the cutoff's going to be
Right.
when they see the numbers.
Right. So
you don't know where the cut's going to be until you see what the scores are.
Right, and that's kind of where we're one of those schools, not real sure. Some people are saying we might be 4A, but a smaller 4A school, and some people are saying we will probably be a big 3A. So
I keep hearing the larger 3A.
Right, so not real sure. My biggest thing is if we can just get out of the region that we're in, from that standpoint, and get into a more favorable region for us. That's one thing that I hope happens for us. But, I think it'll be good. I didn't like the 4-year cycle, from that standpoint. I think it should be done every 2 years. But
are they going? I think did they decide to go to 2 years?
They're going to go back to 2 years. So I think that'll be good from that standpoint. And like I said, I just hope that we're in a situation where we end up in a great spot in a great region.
One thing we do that you don't have the luxury of doing is we get to play what if. We do it all year long.
Right.
I'm excited about the possibility of you and Bremen and Haralson County all being in the same region together.
Right. So, our principal, he's on one of the committees down there at Georgia High School, and he's kind of come back to me with 4 different scenarios. 2 being 4A, we could play south in a Columbus type region, or we could play north. And then 3A the same way. We could possibly be in a Columbus region or play north with the Haralson and the Bremens.
But it definitely would make sense if you're 3A and Bremen does go up and Haralson County stays where that, for y'all 3 to be in the same region.
Right. I think that, if GHSA doesn't screw it up, from that standpoint.
They've been known to do it.
Right. So
not them. No.
I think that would create some local games for us that some local rivalries.
That's
and whatnot.
what I'm big on is local games that mean something.
Right.
I get tired of local games just as a non-region game. I like local games that mean something.
Right. So that would be good. Coach Russell and Coach Peavy, they do a good job at Haralson and Bremen. So that'd be something I'd.
Awesome. Well, Coach Smiley, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bring us home a W, and look forward to hearing all about it coming up next Tuesday at Coaches Clinic.
Thank you guys for having me.
Y'all be safe and going down as well to LaGrange, and that's where Central will be tomorrow at Callaway Stadium. And when we come back, we'll actually break down that game a whole lot more, along with our other 8 games. All 9 teams are in action either tonight or tomorrow, so that's awesome for us. And we'll come back. We'll break it all down here on the Graddick Sports Facebook page at KISS 102.7.
The Mustard Seed Cafe at City Station offers affordable, globally inspired cuisine, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a pleasant atmosphere. More importantly, your meal is part of a bigger story. A portion of every meal sold goes to help those in need around the globe. Your meal matters, and when you eat at the Mustard Seed, your meal makes a difference. Bring the family down to City Station and break bread with us. Find us online or on Facebook. Mention Graddick20 for 20% off one entree through the end of August.
Listen, then speak. That's how your Edward Jones financial advisor gets to know you, your personal situation, and your individual goals. Smart answers come from listening to your questions. Let your Edward Jones financial advisor show you the difference. For an Edward Jones financial advisor near you, call 1-800-ED-JONES, visit edwardjones.com, or stop by any Edward Jones office in Carrollton, Villa Rica, or Douglasville. Listen, then speak. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Edward Jones, Carrollton, Villa Rica, and Douglasville. Member SIPC.
It's not just your home or your car. It's the hours you spend in your kitchen mastering your legendary wing recipe and packing the family in the car as you head to the high school tailgate. While other companies just call it bundling, at State Farm, we see your home and your auto as the time and memories you make with them. This is State Farm agent Amy Brown. I understand what your family, home, and auto really means to you. Come see me, State Farm agent Amy Brown, on South Candler Street in Villa Rica to make sure you're getting the insurance protection that you deserve.
Did you know that Osier Apparel offers all-inclusive fundraising web stores? Donors order direct from the store, freeing you from handling money, getting product to donors, keeping track of ordering, accounting, or delivery. Osier will work with you to set up your store. They'll even help with your design. From tote bags to t-shirts, headwear to outerwear, an Osier fundraising website puts the fun back into fundraising. To find out more or to set up your store, visit osierapparel.com or stop by their office on Avenue C in Carrollton.
At West Georgia Plumbing, Septic, and HVAC, a family-owned and operated company, we understand the importance of keeping your family comfortable and home functioning properly.
We are available 24/6 for any and all repairs and installations. We honor all military, first responders, teachers, and senior citizens with a 10% discount.
Give us a call at 678-708-8883.
And check us out online at westgeorgiahvac.com and westgeorgiaplumbingandseptic.com.
To God be the glory.
In America, someone's cell phone screen cracks every second.
I'd hate to be that guy.
Face it, someday you'll be that guy. When that day comes, don't send your phone off to be repaired. It takes weeks and costs a fortune. From busted screens to battery replacement, West Georgia Technology repairs phones and computers fast for a price that will make you smile.
Ah, shoot. So who do I call again?
West Georgia Technology, 678-664-0486, 928 South Park Street in Carrollton.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners
10
Insurance,
seconds.
the no-problem people. Visit Susan, Gary, and the rest of the crew at Southland Insurance on Corporate Drive in Carrollton or online at southlandinsagency.com.
3, 2.
And welcome back into the Team SMI Starting Lineup Show, presented by SMI, live here at the Mustard Seed Cafe and City Station. We're going to break down our 9 local games this week. And I'm actually currently watching the Temple and Callaway game. Temple's got the ball on the 18-yard line, driving in Callaway's territory, and Callaway's up 7-0 in that game. Leroy Marsh found Ashton Bonner 7-0 in that game, and we'll try to keep you guys posted on our Facebook page as much as we can here, counting down the time.
While you were watching the Temple game, I was trying to figure out what they got coming out of that window there. It smells so good.
Yeah, and when you hear the grill and the chopping going on, you know it's pretty good. Philip Johnson's number 28, right? Is that correct? You remember from last week?
Yes.
Okay. He just had a Philip Johnson, who's I think second in the state.
I was thinking I had hamburger on the brain, and then you bring up football, and I had to switch gears.
I'm just going to leave it right there. But Philip Johnson with a big run. They're down to the 15, so Temple might get some points on the board. But we'll hold that thought and get to talking about – let's start at the top with what we were just talking about, Central and LaGrange. Central they've got, 16, 17 seniors that are led on this team. We just heard from Coach Smiley. They're as healthy as they have been. I'm expecting a Central victory tonight or tomorrow night.
Well, LaGrange is big up front, and they got an athletic quarterback. He's got a huge arm.
He does.
And the first quarter against Heard County just pounded them.
Right.
And then it kind of fell apart. But if you put pressure on them, on LaGrange, they didn't respond well to pressure. And the main thing is penetration. If you penetrate their offensive line, you can disrupt what they're doing on offense.
Absolutely.
So, and Central's good enough up front on defense to disrupt what they're doing offensively. I don't see any reason Central can't win this football game.
Scooter just ran it down to the 3.
Scooter's the quarterback.
Yes, Scooter Tanner is the quarterback for the Temple Tigers, and we'll keep you posted on that.
That's the name I'll never forget. You just don't forget a kid named Scooter.
Oh, man, I love it. But I just think that Kasheem Taylor and his experience playing on the road, he's won some huge ball games on the road. LaGrange's going to have a crowd for the home region opener for them, and I don't see them losing this ball game. I think that Coach Smiley and his gang will have them ready to play and ready to go.
I agree. I don't see any reason Central can't win this.
I'm going to be.
Villa Rica at Paulding County. We've found out that if they give the ball to Philip Zachary, they got a legitimate shot of winning. They kind of went away from it. He gashed Carrollton a little bit, too, and they kind of went away from it. And I know that they want to throw the ball, but Tristan Allen just has not had it for this Villa Rica football team. Their Coach Nix on the defensive side, I mean, you give up 17 points, you expect to win a game. At least if I'm a coach, if I'm holding a team to 17 points, especially 0 in the second half, I expect to win a game. So we'll see if Coach Honeycutt and the gang can come back up against Paulding County this week.
Well, I've only got to see Villa Rica once, and they struggled moving the ball against ML King. And I'm not real familiar with Paulding County, but I do know if I had Philip Zachary, he would run the
20
ball.
20 carries, at least.
I was thinking more like 30. I mean, I don't care if I wanted to be a passing team. If I got Philip Zachary, I want to be a running team.
And we see so many times, and this is no reflection on Coach Honeycutt or anything, but it happened at Carrollton when Ed Dudley came in. It happens all around. Happened at Bremen this year. They tried to put in a new offense. You have to be able to take the offense and mold it around what you have. You can't try to force something that you don't have. And we've seen that bust some coaches so many times.
Well, Bremen got back to
and
Bremen
they didn't
football
see what happened
against Cedartown and looked like they should look.
Exactly. So best of luck to Villa Rica. They're playing Paulding County. I expect Villa Rica to win this game. Paulding County is traditionally not as good. I was talking to Coach Keith last week. He said they had 2 great linebackers, but Villa Rica needs a win bad for their program and to keep their season alive. So I expect a big performance from them next week. Hurd and Spencer's going on right now. Spencer's got a lot of athletes.
Always, every year they're loaded with athletes and not a lot of discipline and not very well coached.
Right.
But athletes can win sometimes.
Yes, it's currently 7-0 in that game. A 61-yard pass from Ashton Bonner, or from Leroy Marsh to Ashton Bonner. So we'll keep up hopefully the good news. I'll check that score once again here in a minute. Temple and Callaway is going on. Temple's got the ball on the 3-yard line. It says 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do here. They snap the ball. They're going to run the Philly special, and they got tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that happens when those fast linebackers read it.
So it's looking like it's going to be 4th and goal, and if you're Temple, I guess you kind of got to go for it.
What are they on the 6?
I like the 6-yard line now. We'll keep you up to date on
Look,
that game.
When you get down there they got Lane Ackles now.
Yeah,
and he's a big kid. He's not the get on the edge, burn the field up kind of kid, but he's big and physical. Right. If I got the ball 1st and goal from the 3, he's probably going to run the ball 4 times or until I score.
Yeah, and we'll see what Coach Vaughn dials up. I think it's 4th and goal because they still have yet to mark it on the scoreboard. But best of luck to them. Carrollton at East Paulding. East Paulding got beat 45-0 last week against Kell, and we saw what Kell in the Rome game was. So just comparing scores, you can't really compare scores in region play. East Paulding's 0-3, but they've lost to 3 really good teams. Lost to Upson Lee on the road, lost to North Paulding, who's ranked in 6A, and lost to Kell last week. So East Paulding's going to be hungry for a win.
Well, and one thing about Kell is it's shaping up to be Kell and Carrollton for the dominance in this region right here. And Carrollton, they've fallen the last couple of years in the Rome game, but now they're in a position to where this Kell game is going to pretty much be for the region championship.
Right.
It should be for the region championship. You never know what's going to happen, but Carrollton's put themselves in this position now with that win over Rome.
And East Paulding kind of fight there in this region. You start losing games early, and you get behind the 8 ball. And Villa Rica's in the same situation. You can't get too many games behind.
Hard to recover.
It's really hard to recover in that kind of region. I want to say Bowden North Cobb for last. We'll go ahead and go to Darlington at Mount Zion. It's going to be a tough one for Mount Zion.
Well,
that's all you can really kind of say about it.
Well, we talked about Mount Zion having 8 or 9 starters out from week 1, and Darlington is in that private school that I hate. And let me get on my soapbox for a second.
Go ahead.
I think all private schools in the state should have to play in their own conference or region or whatever you call it, I don't think they should ever play a public school, because Darlington, if they need a quarterback, they go scour the country and get them a quarterback. If they need a running back, they scour the country and get them a running back. And they offer scholarships, just like college. They live on campus. There's kids, these kids that play for Darlington, maybe only less than half of them are from Georgia. The rest of them are from out of state. And they live on campus. It's just like going to college.
Yeah.
And it's not fair for teams like Mount Zion and Bowden, especially it's rougher in single A than it is in double A. And I know they got the playoffs split up, but let's split up the region too.
I agree. Absolutely.
And
they're finally getting rid of that next year.
Well, that's
no
good.
More power rankings,
but I
no more private.
I think from the bottom to the top, I think we should have maybe 5 public classifications and 3 private classifications, and let them be totally separate. Let the private schools play the private schools and the public schools play the public schools, because there's different rules for them. And if you're going to play in the same league, you should have to go by the same rules. Like
Agreed.
Darlington can transfer a kid in today, and he's eligible to play tomorrow. If a public school transfers a kid in today, he's got to sit out a year, and it's not fair.
Or you got to get a hardship and move them in.
Yeah, you got to jump through hoops and get attorneys involved and have hearings, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about
No, it's okay. Temple missed a field goal. They missed a 20-yard field goal. So that kind of takes the wind out of the sails for the Tigers. Heard County at the end of the first is up 7-0. So those are the scores for our 2 ball games going on as we speak. Bowden or Haralson County at LFO, the last journey for a couple of weeks until we get back. They got Cahola Creek the next week, and then they're back on the road against Sonoraville. But LFO, I think, like you said, Haralson County is a 4-point favorite in this game.
Well, Haralson County is, to me, they're a different team than last year, but I think they're as effective as they were last year. LFO, from what I've seen, is not as good as they were last year. They're down a little bit, and I fully expect Haralson County to go up there and get a win.
Yeah, and same with Bremen.
Oh, they got a game this week?
Bremen plays Cross Keys.
Oh,
yeah.
They don't have a game this week.
For any school that has to advertise on a subscriber list for a defensive coordinator, we'll just leave it at that.
Well, you know what? I'm proud of those kids for getting out there and giving it the effort.
Yeah.
Because when you get beat as bad as they do week in and week out, you could just say, to heck with this, I'm not doing it anymore.
They're still looking for a touchdown, I think, too.
I'm sure they are.
Man. And then the game of the week.
I've seen them play 3 or 4 times. I don't think I've ever seen them get a first down. Ever.
I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
I'm not making fun of them.
No,
it's just what it is.
It's just what it is. It is what it is.
It looked like at some point they would find an athlete somewhere.
Yes.
At some point.
They're really good soccer players. They got a really good soccer team.
Yeah, more power to them.
I know you're feeling on soccer. Bowden and North Cobb Christian, game of the week for us, really. I think it's got the chance to be the best game. You guys will be up there. It's kind of a tough environment. There's not a lot of people. It's so crowded together that it really sounds like there's a lot more people than there are going to be.
I was looking on the Google Earth or Maps, whatever you do, and looking at pictures. There's not even a fence around the field.
No.
It's just like one set of bleachers, and they're just like old rec.
If you hit a foul ball on the baseball field, it goes behind you. It goes on the football field.
Right.
That's how close everything is together.
It's like an old school rec league football field. There's just
really
one
is.
set of bleachers, and the press box is about the size of this table. And there's a baseball field just right on the other side of the field.
Like at Hewlett.
Yes. And they've told us, and we tried to make other arrangements, like we need to set up somewhere around the baseball field, but they said, no, if you need power, you need to do it right here in the bleachers.
Which I don't see why you can't call the game, and I asked them about doing it out of the baseball press box, because you would be on the 30-yard line, but there's only like a small, like you and Casey would have to like put your heads out in a small window, basically, to try to watch the game.
Look out the back.
Yes.
Okay. So
you wouldn't want to do that.
Carrollton built their baseball press box so Ben Scott could watch football practice out the back.
Yeah.
That's why there's big windows and a table on the other side. So this was not set up like that.
Yeah, not at all. But those are our games.
Hey, this won't be the first
week.
game I've called from the bleachers.
What was the other one?
Me and Casey called a Mount Zion playoff game at
ECI. Was it
ECI, and we were sitting next to the band, and the tuba section was right here.
So you had a lot of bass the whole game.
I'm here, and Casey's here, and all you can hear all night is tuba.
Does that where Coach Jetmore gets where the tuba player is at?
Maybe, because he was
He
there
was
at
on
that
the
game.
sideline.
Yeah, we took him with us for whatever reason. I'm still not sure why we agreed to take him along on that trip, but he was there. But this should be the game of the week.
We're excited about it.
And I think in the overall Class A, or maybe they got them broke down in public, private.
Yes, Bowden is 5th and North Cobb is 4th in the private.
I think it's flipped.
Or maybe Bowden's 4th and North Cobb's 5th. Something like that.
So this is 2 top 10 teams. This ought to be a
Fox 5 will be there. Fox 5 game of the week.
Oh, do they win? I voted like 15 times.
Well, they won. And just say hello to Bill Hartman for me. He's a good guy.
Oh, we've had him in the booth with us twice.
Really?
In KCF, yeah.
He's awesome. He's an awesome guy. So those are our 9 games for this week. And when we come back, how about some college football time?
And the Braves.
We'll talk a little bit Braves, too. I don't mind that.
I got the Braves fever right now.
Hey, next Thursday is the day. Can't wait. I hope everybody gets healthy. When we come back, college football, Braves baseball team, SMI starting lineup, presented by SMI here on the Gradic Sports Facebook page and KISS 102.7.
Looking for a fitness experience that isn't your typical big box gym? At City Station Fitness, we understand going to the gym can be intimidating, and we want to change that. City Station Fitness, a proud supporter of the Team SMI starting lineup, makes your fitness experience fun and personal, and we promise to know your name by your second visit. Give us a try, and your first workout will be on us. City Station Fitness, behind CVS on Maple Street. For more information, visit citystationfitness.com and check us out on Facebook.
Join the 7 million investors who know the difference. For a proactive approach to your individual financial needs, contact an Edward Jones financial advisor near you. Call 1-800-ED-JONES, visit edwardjones.com, or stop by any Edward Jones office in Carrollton, Villa Rica, or Douglasville. Regardless of what the market is doing, we stay in touch. Even when the market's down, we'll call you up. Proactive, not reactive. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Edward Jones in Carrollton, Villa Rica, and Douglasville. Member SIPC.
Fan knows that the 2-point conversion can make all the difference in a game. That's why State Farm is here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. This is State Farm agent Amy Brown reminding you that bundling your insurance can save you time and money. It's just another way to put 1 in your win column. Call me, State Farm agent Amy Brown, at 678-840-5000. Stop by our office on South Candler Street in Villa Rica, or visit online at amybrown.biz. We're here to help life go right.
Osier Apparel makes it easy for you to outfit your employees in company attire. The Osier staff will work with you to set up a company store online with your logos, approved garment brands, colors, and styles. Once the store is up and running, employees visit the store and order direct within your allotted budget, or can order additional garments on their own within your preset acceptable parameters. You've got enough to do. Alleviate the hassle of outfitting your employees. To find out more or to set up your company store, visit osierapparel.com or stop by their office on Avenue C in Carrollton.
At West Georgia Plumbing, Septic, and HVAC, a family-owned and operated company, we understand the importance of keeping your family comfortable and home functioning properly.
We are available 24/6 for any and all repairs and installations. We honor all military, first responders, teachers, and senior citizens with a 10% discount.
Give us a call at 678-708-8883.
And check us out online at westgeorgiahvac.com and westgeorgiaplumbingandseptic.com.
To God be the glory.
In America, someone's cell phone screen cracks every second.
I'd hate to be that guy.
Face it, someday you'll be that guy. When that day comes, don't send your phone off to be repaired. It takes weeks and costs a fortune. From busted screens to battery replacement, West Georgia Technology repairs phones and computers fast for a price that will make you smile.
Ah, shoot. So who do I call again?
West Georgia Technology, 678-664-0486, 928 South Park Street in Carrollton.
Whether it's a car accident,
30
storm
seconds.
damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Susan, Gary, and the rest of the crew at Southland Insurance on Corporate Drive in Carrollton or online at southlandinsagency.com.
3, 2.
And welcome back into the Team SMI starting lineup presented by SMI. Big shout out to David Brock back at the studio
Who has the best hair in radio, by the way?
We've got so much going on at the station. We've got the fair going on. We're out there, Michael Vincent and Josh Shingle. So when we're done, make sure you go on over to B92 Country and give them a listen. They'll be out at the fair. And this weekend, if you have nothing to do, drop by the fair. They got rocket ride passes and all kinds of good food.
It's football season. How do you not have nothing to do?
Well, I mean, we have stuff to do. I'm just saying for the people that are listening or watching out that might not have anything else to do.
I'm gone.
And just like that, he's gone.
Back over to B.
Back over to B he goes. But as we kind of wrap up the Team SMI starting lineup show tonight, first off, super excited about our Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
They have got a 3-game series with the Mets. Ronald Acuna is pretty much done for the season. Well, done for the regular season. They're kind of sitting him out. Freddie Freeman did travel. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup tonight.
I wouldn't start any of them.
Yeah.
Except Markakis. He needs the reps.
That joker came out the first night after he'd been out and was hitting balls 100 miles per hour like it was nothing.
Excited to be there.
Let's talk about some college football. And by the way, the Braves start next Thursday. So as soon as we get done here, we're sprinting out here and going home and watch the Braves. Penn State plays Friday night games. Great. Doubleheader.
There's a game on tonight.
Doubleheader. What's the game tonight? I don't see
Army
it.
and who was it, Joel?
Oh, that's why I'm on the top 25 list.
Yeah.
We'll see if Joel can get it for us. Penn State plays Maryland tomorrow. Friday night game. A lot of offense in that game probably. Arizona State plays Cal. Cal is now ranked 15th in the country. I don't know how good they are. They barely beat Ole Miss last week. Ole Miss should have beat them. And Ole Miss is not a very good football team.
You want my take on the college football season?
Go ahead.
So, for the playoffs picture, because it's not too early to talk about that. Clemson's in. There's nobody else in their schedule that can beat them.
Shouldn't lose, no.
Ohio State's in because there's nobody else except for maybe in a Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin. But, Wisconsin falls flat on their face every time they play Ohio State in a Big Ten championship game. So I don't think anybody else can beat them. There's nobody else left on Oklahoma's schedule that can beat them.
Texas? What about Texas?
Like I said, there's nobody else on Oklahoma's schedule.
Texas gave LSU a pretty good game.
Then you got the last spot. And
whoever the SEC champion is, I guess.
Yes, but it's going to be Florida and Georgia on the East, and I think it'll be Georgia, unless they play like they did Saturday against Notre Dame, and then Florida might beat them. Or against whoever comes out of that, Alabama, LSU, Auburn. And you know who I think it's going to be?
You're going to say Auburn.
Auburn. I think that defense is the best defense in the country.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. How much did Lindsey pay you then?
Nothing. We didn't even talk about it.
Kidding.
But they've got 2 wins over top 15 teams.
That is true. And speaking of top 10 teams, Oklahoma puts their undefeated line on as they take on Texas Tech. The big noon. I don't like how Fox is doing that this year. They stick. I hate Joel Klatt, but Gus Johnson is a national treasure.
Gus Johnson's awesome.
National treasure. One of my favorite play-by-play guys. He gets stuck at the 12 o'clock kickoff. It's usually an Ohio State game every week. This week it's Oklahoma versus Texas Tech.
Which out there it's going to be like 10 in the morning when they kick off.
Yeah. Northwestern plays Wisconsin. That is a 12 o'clock kick on ABC. Iowa plays Zaylen Woods, Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. And,
Andrew Leak.
That'd be perfect. Andrew Leak, too. Is he traveling? Do we know if he's traveling or not?
I hadn't seen him on the sideline. I don't know. He hadn't posted anything about it on his social media.
Then Michigan plays Rutgers. Who cares about Michigan anymore?
Yeah, Rutgers by 30.
They've really kind of crapped the bed there. Texas A&M plays Arkansas. Who cares?
Texas A&M by 30.
Yeah, Arkansas is really bad at football, in case you guys didn't know. Clemson plays North Carolina. Ole Miss, and it plays Alabama. Like I said, that's a 3:30 kickoff. Alabama is a 37.5-point favorite in that game.
It's really a bad week for marquee matchups in college football.
Virginia, the number 18th ranked Virginia, takes on Notre Dame. USC plays Washington. That could be a trap game for Notre Dame. Watch out, Virginia.
Notre Dame's not that good.
We'll find out.
Is there anybody out here that thinks that Notre Dame's that good?
I was impressed with Notre Dame.
Really?
I will say this. Georgia's defense, they didn't have their starting 2 corners.
I was not as impressed with defense with Notre Dame as I was unimpressed with Georgia.
Okay. USC plays Washington. Those are 2 two top 25 ranked teams. That's a 3:30 ball game on Fox. Michigan State plays Indiana. They snuck into the to the top 25. Florida plays Towson. Auburn plays Mississippi State.
That might be a good ball game.
Yeah, Auburn's a 10-point favorite in that game. I would say Auburn wins by at least 2 touchdowns.
Well, you would think, but Mississippi State depending on what they
took a terrible loss 2 weeks ago against Kansas State. And then UConn takes on UCF. That's a 7 o'clock game. UCF is favored by 43.5 points in that game. UConn is awful.
What's the 7:30 primetime kickoff game on ABC?
It is Ohio State and Nebraska.
Ohio State, Nebraska is the game of the week, essentially.
Yeah. Kansas State plays Oklahoma State, and Washington State plays Utah. So,
what about NC State and Florida State?
What's your opinion on that, Joel? NC State, Florida State. The Pack lost to West Virginia 2 weeks ago, but they handled Ball State last week.
Is Florida State not a dumpster fire right now? That is like
Florida State who'd they beat last week? Louisville. They beat Louisville last week.
It's not. I think they're going to miss the bowl game for the second straight year.
I wouldn't be surprised. Willie Taggart might need to get fired.
Well, if he don't make a bowl game this year, he's out the door.
I would agree with that.
Because they're used to winning down there in Tallahassee.
David, if he's back in the studio, he can give us a prediction on that game. I don't know if he's listening or not.
I just walked back in.
All right, perfect. He's back. So we'll get ready to wrap things up here on the Team SMI Starting Lineup show, as we've got 4 great broadcast games tomorrow, transitioning back to high school games. On Great Classics 98.9, Bowden, North Cobb Christian, Casey, Clay, and Mason are making the trek up there.
We got the itinerary hashed out.
What time y'all leaving?
Leaving the Parkwood at 3:30.
All right. That's the exact time I'm leaving.
We're grabbing Casey at 3:45. We're going to go down to Buckhannon, hit 120. And
that's the way to go.
Book 120 all the way out to Kennesaw.
That's the best way to go, especially on a Friday.
Especially on a Friday.
Best way to go.
At quitting time.
Yes, absolutely. On B92 Country, or on Kiss 102.7, Carrollton takes on East Paulding. On B92 Country, Mount Zion and Darlington. We're going to be at that one for the Agri-America Farm and Construction Tailgate Show. And on King Country FM 93.7, Haralson County travels to LFO. So
everybody's on the road this week.
Everybody's on the road. Only 2 home games, and they're both going to be blowouts, unfortunately.
Yep.
So best of luck to all 9 of our teams. It was 14-0 or 13-0 Callaway last time I looked, and 7-0 Heard County. So keep it locked at our Gradic Sports Facebook page. We'll keep you posted on that. Clay, any final thoughts before we send it back to David in the studio?
It's just excited to get another. I always look forward to Friday. Yes. It's like the week drags along until Friday gets here.
This week especially.
I wonder why.
For me. For a lot of you guys that don't know, Steve Gradick, our boss, has been going through a loss of his own. His father passed away on Monday morning, and we want to remember him and remember him in all of our prayers. And it's been a busy week, but it's been a fun week, and we're praying for you, Steve, and hope to get you back in the groove of things here coming up real soon.
Weeks should have flown by for you. You've been calling all these athletic directors and other coaches.
Oh, yeah, they don't call you back, do they?
Oh, you got to chase them down.
Listen, I can only call and email so much.
Well, do what you can, buddy. Hey, we did get starting lineups from them, though.
East Paulding sent Billy a starting or a roster and starting lineups, but they didn't even answer the phone or send me an email to even see if we could come to the game or not. So,
and how great is it to have Billy on board?
Yes.
He starts on Mondays tracking down these starting lineups and rosters from these other teams. It's just awesome.
So awesome. So we'll be back here next Thursday for the Team SMI Starting Lineup show. Got Coach Rich Finley that's going to be on with us, we hope.
May have Monty Curtis here.
That'd be great. That'd be a great show. And I've also got you a shirt coming too.
You got to ask Monty about his rock and roll days.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. So for Clay Harden and Matt Skinner and all of our great sponsors, it's the Team SMI Starting Lineup live here at the Mustard Seed Cafe each and every Thursday night. We'll get you ready for high school football tomorrow at 5 right here on Kiss 102.7 and our Gradic Sports Facebook page.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, David.